guess what? I've actually fished a match this last week. It can't be the first match I've fished since. Probably Fishermania final. No, it's not really. But yeah, what happened? Weather's been terrible this week. I was supposed to be coached on the river, but I got cancelled on, unfortunately. So decided to fish a match at the Old Huff. It's only about sort of 5 or 10 minutes from me, not far away at all. Proper windy forecast for the day, so I left my pole in the garage, to be fair. I didn't even take it with me. I just put some rods in, some tip rods and a waggler rod. Mel decided to make it a rover, drawn peg 20, I think I decided to go on Big Max. And yeah, I've just had a lovely day's fishing. I've caught sort of 10 to 11 on a little method. Started off on a pellet cone, like we did in the Winning Ways, but it was a bit iffy. The fish wanted to be further over, and we're having to give it a bit of beans in that wind. I couldn't get tight enough across on the pellet cone without pellets going everywhere. So set a little method up, and I was chucking it probably 8 to 10 inches from the bank, right tight up, where it's about 18 inches. I've just used a little tiny Guru hybrid feeder, 24 gram. I've caught on a yellow or a pink washter, and yeah, it's lovely fishing. I had 5 big carp on it and sort of 3 or 4 F1s, but I've been pinging sort of 6 mils at like 18-20 metres all day. And I've not set the waggler up to start with. I just chucked a bomb over it. I've had a great big one straight away, but I was getting these liners all the time, and I'm thinking, looks right for the waggler. The wind that was forecast didn't actually materialise. The other 2 anglers that were on the lake, they were catching on pole, so it's one of them. I wish I'd have brought it, but I didn't. So there we go. So yeah, so got waggler out, took that in, and it's gone under, and it was absolutely brilliant fishing. Dirty great big F1s. I've snared another 3 carp, and I've weighed in 84 pounds, and I come second, but you know, got some tokens, paid for a curry that night. Yes, it's nice. But yeah, other than that match, all I've been doing, coaching's still going really well, proper booked up, and I've been noticing sort of like the last couple of weeks with the weather changing, certainly like all the rain that we're having and the wind, it's not so much cold, it's just like the conditions that are changing, and it's being able to be adaptive. He's just landed a proper whopper one there, dirty great big F1. So yeah, it's just learning to be adaptive with the conditions. You don't really want to be fishing sort of like long pole. I've been trying to make sort of edge fishing and fishing down the track, certainly the likes of snake lakes like Partridge and Cudmore, they've been working really well for me. So putting in a little bit more bait than the norm. I mean, I do like to feed heavy anyway, it's just the way I am, but rather than sort of like cupping everything in 15-20 minutes, certainly down the middle, I've been loose feeding, you know, sort of every 5 or 6 minutes, giving them like 20-30 maggots, and it's been working really well. Fishing more positive rigs than what I've been in the past as well, with it being colder. I've been on sort of like a 414s, 416s, a bulk, and then sort of 3 number 10s droppers, so you're getting down there right quick, but then the number 10s are coming in a lot quicker as well, and you're seeing them real positive bites. So that's been down the track. Down the edge, it's just been a nice simple sort of like spread bulk, you know, number 10 shots, sort of 5 or 6 number 10 shots over, what, 3 or 4 inches or something, and then just fishing nice and tidy with a 6-inch up length, just setting that curl in on the edge. That's been working really well as well. So what have we got coming up? I've got some big qualifying matches coming up. I think I've entered sort of 15 or 16 this year. I'm not going to travel too far. I mean, there's qualifiers all over the place, but what I've found these last few years, you can pick and choose, because there's that many qualifiers locally to where you'll be. You don't need to travel. I mean, the likes of sort of like Power and, you know, even Jamie, they'll travel all over the place, because it is literally everything to them. And yeah, fair enough, that's why they qualify for these big matches, because they're awesome and they put the time in. But it's one of them for me, you know, weekends, just, you know, take my little lad football and that, so I want to pick venues that are closer to me, like Partridge and the Oaks, Herringbrook, places like that. So I've got a few on there to look forward to, and hopefully we'll get a draw this year and we'll do all right with it. But you know, it's going to be weather dependent. And so the weather's getting better, but it's still cold. You wouldn't tell in here. Just need this wind to die down a bit, and then we can get straight back on it and go and snare a few fishes. So wish me the best of luck for the future in my upcoming matches, and let's go and snare a few fishes out.